It was the Mass, I think. I mean, I grew up in an Irish Catholic family. We went to Mass every week. We had to come home, and there were 11 people in my family. I love the Jewish tradition of Midrash, really, which I only discovered later in life, in my 30s, where the Torah is a living document, and you bring your imagination to it, and you can imagine what happens in between in the silences in these stories. And I was doing that at a very young age, and didn't know that, of course, it had been a centuries-long tradition in the Jewish tradition, and because I just was fascinated by the stories. They were archetypical stories in what we call the Old Testament, or the Torah, and the New Testament as well. So these stories became sort of the architecture of my inner life. I mean, Cain and Abel, Abraham and Isaac, Jesus and the woman who was about to be stoned. These were moral, huge stories to me, and I was fascinated with the characters in the center, on the edges, all around. So that was the first real art I knew. And then my parents had in our living room these huge books that had prints of famous paintings in them, tissue paper, and I would look at these paintings, and there were lots of crucifixions, and there were different, I wonder what happened to those books. And I was just always looking for something that would hold the mystery of being alive. I was searching in all the corners of our house. And we had the Harvard classics, those old, and I would open them up and look at them, dusty old pages. And every once in a while I would find lines that seemed to hold the mystery of being alive. Or I would see a painting that would hold it. And then Bob Dylan came out and he held it. And, so I grew up, I was born in 1950, so I was perfect baby boomer. The Beatles, Dylan, all those people. But Dylan too, used to refer to these stories.